Welcome everybody, welcome to the first gameplay episode of my playthrough of Dark Souls, the board game, where we are about to take our two heroes, the Knight and the Assassin, out to try and accomplish their quest against the Winged Knight, and this is going to be quite an adventure. It is a brutal game where we are in a dark, dark place trying to accomplish good deeds. Well, I guess, I mean, we're kind of these undead heroes trying to gain souls from those we slay to power ourselves up to defeat a boss. Yeah, that's what we're doing. And we're going to do that again with the Knight and the Assassin. And I went over them in the previous video, so I'm not going to go over any of that now. We're just going to get right into the action. We're going to decide, and I'm going to explain the actual rules of play when we fight as we go. So the first thing we have to do is we have to decide which of the two rooms we're going to go into. We have two options. We can go to this room or this room, and really there's not that big of a decision. You go in the room, reveal the card, and then we have some decisions to make. Now, we're going to have to pick a first player and also the player with threat, and when you first enter a room, that's not mutually exclusive. They're not always the same thing. But when you activate, again, a character, that character then gains the threat, except for in this very first turn. So I think since they're already facing this direction, they're just going to head this way. We're going to come over here and see what happens. So you know that in the last video, I placed out the cards that show the threats that are in the current room. So we're going to reveal what we have here. Now, good news is we don't have any traps. But what we do have is we have a crossbow hollow, I think their name is. And I'll put that up on screen for you, but I'll also bring out the card right here. This is the crossbow hollow. Let's set that down right in front of me so it's easier for me to keep track of. We're going to get one of those guys out, and what do they look like? They look like this. And that is going to go on the sword space. So right here, right in front of our heroes, is going to be a crossbow hollow. That's kind of an interesting place for it. And then way up here, because I guess the board facing could make a difference, way up here we're going to have a crossbow swordsman and a hollow sword soldier, which looks like this fine fellow, and another crossbow hollow. So we're going to have this one here. He's going to be up here in this spot. And then we're going to have another crossbowman. And get him out of the box. There we go. There, we got those two guys there. Now, we also have a tombstone, which I will get out. That's going to go on this spot here, which blocks movement. So let me do that. And there is the tombstone. Now, let's talk about the enemy behaviors as we get into it. Well, actually, let's not do that yet. Now, the tombstones do something interesting. When we get to the final boss for every tombstone that we've uncovered, we get to see kind of what the programmed combat actions of the final or the mini boss are. So it's pretty cool. But that's not what we get right now. Now, we have to decide where we're going to place and who's going to go in first. So I'm going to make the first player and the person with the threat the same this turn. We're going to make that be the Knight. So just put those tokens on the Knight for right now, because he's going to move in first. He's also going to be the one that takes aggro right away. He's the one he's got a good ability to defend himself. So we're going to do that. We get to place our guys on any of the nodes on the entrance that we came into. So I'm actually going to place the Knight right here, right in front, and I'm going to place looking at these guys, this makes a big difference, because you see that the crossbow hollows are going to target the person with the aggro token, and that's important. Whereas the swordsmen are going to target the nearest, and that's what that circle means. They are going to move and then attack the, just to show you what that looks like, the nearest character, as opposed to move towards the character with the aggro token. And again, the skull means they're going to attack the person. So I think I'm going to have the assassin come up this direction, maybe he's going to draw aggro from this guy, which is okay. But this guy's not going to be the one to shoot at him this turn, at least not until after he activates. Now, one of the reasons I did this is because once we open up, we start a room, that means that the enemies get to go first. So we're going to start with, and it goes by order of threat, or whatever, I think it's called threat. And so the hollow soldiers are going to go first, followed by the crossbow hollows. So what this soldier's going to do here up in the corner, let me move this over so you get the full board there. He is going to simply move here. He only has, if you look at his skill card, he's got a 0 range. That's what the circle is right here. So he cannot actually attack anybody. He has to be in the same node with them. So he's just going to move to there. That's all he's going to do. However, the 2 crossbow hollows are going to get to attack. And they're both within range. Now, this one, the theory is they got to move one away from the enemy. Well, his target's this guy, so he's about as far away as he can get. He's not going to actually move. However, this guy is. Now, I got choices. I can move him here or here, because those will actually put him one farther away. I think we'll just move him to, we'll move him right here. Okay. And they're spreading out, and that's not necessarily good for us, because that means we're going to have to move around and burn stamina to go after these guys, perhaps. But we shall see. Now, so we move this guy back here, this guy back, and he's going to shoot at the knight with his crossbow. Now, here's how this works. See here, this symbol here says target the person with the threat token, the aggro token, for 3 points of damage. Okay, now that's an automatic 3 points of damage. But how do we block that? Well, we look at the knight. Being that this is magic damage, it's not very good. But the knight's armor does give him one black die, towards a magical attack. So that's what we're going to have. And so we're going to have to get the black dice out. And this crossbow hollow is going to attack, or he's going to defend against this. 3 points from this crossbow hollow means he's likely to take damage. But let's see what he does take. Oh, he only blocked one of those, so that's not necessarily good for us. That's bad, because we're going to take 2 points of damage. So the knight is already taking some hits. Now, if I thought about this, I might have wanted to give this to the assassin, because he's got the ability to do something else, and that's dodge. And that gives him this green dice, and it's basically got, well, probably not as good odds. It's got 3 sides that allow him to dodge, so it's 50-50 chance of completely taking no damage. But so far the knight's taken 2. Let's go back, because we got another crossbow hollow to go. And that's going to be this one. We're going to have to defend against that one. Oh, man, 4 points of damage already. Bad luck rolls. Here we go. So basically this is how it looks for the knight. Got ourselves in a predicament right off the bat, very beginning of the game. Isn't that just wonderful? Now, I could do some things to help avoid that. I could do, use his token, his luck token, to reroll a die, but we got more fight to go, and so I want to save that for later. Let's continue on. So that was the beginning of that. That's really bad. We got to definitely clobber these crossbow hollows. They're going to cause us some trouble, more so than the swordsman. Then we get to activate our knight. Now, he's going to fairly easily kill something. He's got 1 blue die, which has a lot of multiple hits on it, and it only takes 2 hits to kill a crossbow hollow. They have only 1 physical defense, so if I get 2 hits, I kill it. But what he's going to do is he's going to move here to this node, and then move here, where he will then attack the crossbow hollow with his dice. Now, that moving that extra step is going to cost him in stamina, which we put right here. And that means, see, if these ever meet, then he's dead. So we got to be very careful in the next couple turns, because if we survive the tile, we get to go back to fire and all is forgiven. So, yeah. Anyway, let's continue on. Okay, by the way, I set our spark dial. It's at 4 for the game with a 2-player game. And that means that if we die and have to go back there, we'll use one of the sparks. If we get down to 0, we lose. But anyway, let's continue on. So the hollow knight, the hollow soldier, is going to go first. Here's his card. He is going to move towards the nearest enemy, and he's going to attack the nearest enemy for 4. So he moves to our assassin, where he attacks for 4. I'm holding this die because I think what we're going to do is dodge, which will cost our assassin some stamina, but that's okay. It's better than taking 4 wounds. So let's see. Now, he could block as well. He's got 1 die to block, but I think he's got better odds of dodging, and he succeeds. So he moves away. So we'll move him to, well, actually, we can move him anywhere out of the node. We're going to move him to here, because he's going to go get that guy on this turn. And then we will also then spend a stamina, which puts him there. Now, he's in better shape than our our knight at this point. Again, this may not seem like the most logical movement for the crossbow hollow, but he's going to move one away from the person with aggro. He can't get any farther away, and this guy's, he's not going to move on to someone with a node, so he's going to stay right there and shoot again at our knight. Our knight is going to have to defend himself with a black die. Yuck. Well, wait a second, I messed that up. He's got 2 black dice. My bad, he's got a blue die and a black die. Forgot his shield last turn. Bummer. Well, we're going to have to... Oh, wait, no, this is magic. He's got a 0 against the magic on his shield. The only thing he gets is from the armor. That's why he's only got 1 die. Come on, 2! Thank God he only took 1 more point of damage from that. That's still pretty rough, guys. Now our assassin gets to activate, and that's a good thing, because we need him to do some killing. He is going to step into here for his movement, and then he's going to attack with... He doesn't have space stamina on this, and he's going to attack the crossbow hollow. But at the beginning of his turn, he does get to get rid of 2 stamina, so he only spent 1, so he's going to get rid of that. And we are going to then attack this guy here. Now, how that's going to work for us is his... the assassin has a weapon called an S-Duck, and basically it does 2 black dice, but it has -1, so there is a risk that he won't do any damage, but it's fairly unlikely. He's very likely to kill this crossbow hollow. Let's see if he succeeds. He actually does not succeed. That is... Oh, guys, here we go. Bad luck dice rolls. I mean, the odds of him failing at this were really low. So I didn't bother to spend any stamina. I thought he'd have it for sure, and he doesn't. So guess what happens now? Our knight is still in trouble. Okay, we're going to go back to the knight, the hollow soldier. He's going to move 1 back this way. Again, he can't really move anywhere. He's supposed to move 1 away from the person with the aggro token. Oh, we activated our knight, our assassin. So he actually has the aggro token. I got to remember that that's something that's going to affect the game quite a bit. So yeah, so actually he can move away. He can move to here. It's 1 further away. He'll be in the space with the knight, and he'll attack the knight here, who needs to defend against another crossbow shot from the crossbow hollow. Isn't that awesome? A 1, so he takes 2 more damage. I mean, this guy's going to kill him if we don't do something quick. So look at this. Knight needs food badly. He is about to get killed, and this is my first game, and I'm just not doing well at this. I'm rolling some bad dice, so let's keep going. I don't know what to do here. We're in some serious trouble. Oh, man. So we're going to activate the knight. He's going to get aggro back, and we're going to get rid of 1 of his stamina tokens. He gets that back, but he's only got 3 hits. Now he can move here. He can't do jack there, so he'd have to spend 2 stamina, which would only leave him 1 hit. He'd have to defend against everybody, but we got to kill that hollow. Oh, let me think about this. Okay, guys. So actually, theoretically, since both players have gone, I can move him back there. I can make the assassin first player, and then he'll also gain aggro because he's going to activate. That'll keep the knight from getting hit again immediately. Actually, he was right here. And then we're going to move. What we're going to do then, and guys, if I'm wrong about that, let me know, but I'm pretty sure that's right based on what I read. I'm going to move the assassin into there. The assassin is first player this turn, where he will actually spend his 3 stamina to get that ability. So I'm going to put 3 stamina on his card, which will make it look like this. He's got 1, 2, 3 there, and then... So with his 2 dice -1, he should have a really good shot at killing this guy. Oh, and he rolls 4. That'll do it. So 4 -1 is 3. Only takes 2 to kill the crossbow hollow. We have killed the other crossbow hollow. Now the swordsman activates, and that's not so bad because we're going to dodge him again. So swordman's already in the space with him. He's going to move toward the nearest, which he's already there, and he's going to attack for 4. So our assassin is going to dodge for 4. Let's see what he gets. He does. He succeeds in dodging, so he'll go boom to right there. He will take a stamina, and then we will move on to the knight. The knight will get aggro. Move to there. He doesn't have any stamina on him right now. And what's he going to do? I almost don't even want him to fight because he's so close to dying already. That is just crazy. Luckily, with the campfire there, it's okay. I think what he'll do is he's going to move back here and wait and watch. I think the assassin can take care of the swordsman. And then that will be the end of his turn. Now, I'm going to keep the assassin first player, but the knight currently has aggro because he activated. And then this guy but this guy doesn't go toward aggro. He goes toward the nearest. So he is going to move Actually, I think I had to move here from here. Couldn't move there. That's, yeah. So anyway, he would move here to fight the to attack the our assassin, who will again attempt to dodge, and he failed. So he took 4 points of damage. We are just getting brutalized in this. I'm getting the 4 points of damage out now to put on the assassin. So he better kill that guy like immediately, right? And I got some of the wrong cubes in there. Hold on. Let's see. All right, now let's show you what that looks like, because he's in bad shape. Bad dice rolls have really made this brutal for us. So this is what our guy looks like. Now he's going to activate, so he's going to reduce 2. And I believe if we're smart, because I know it's going to bring him close and it's taking a risk, but we're going to go back up 3 in order to get his bigger dice roll, because I think that's going to make the difference between whether or not we have somebody die. Okay, so we're going to activate the assassin, which we're going to move the aggro token to there, and he's going to get his 2 dice, -1 to roll against this Hollow Knight, and we did it just barely, because the -1 takes care of that. That happens there. The Hollow Soldier has a defensive 1, and he's got 1 health, so he has been defeated. We have succeeded in that battle, just barely, and our 2 heroes return to the campfire with this room defeated. Outstanding. And we do have as I said, a tombstone in there, which helps us later on. So let's go back to the campfire. Now, returning to the camp after defeating the enemies is better than if you lose. We get to first recover all of our health. We always get to do that when we return to Bonfire, whether we rest or not. All the health and stamina tokens go back, so I'm not taking those all off of our boards right now. And this is where I am going to play with the first of our house rules. And in a single player game, you would start with 16 souls in the soul pool, and so I saw a thing where saying if you're playing 2 players, it's good to start with half that. So we're going to start with 8 souls already, plus the souls we got from the encounter. You don't get those till after the first encounter, so you don't have treasures going into the first fight. So to speed up the game a little bit, make it a little less grindy, we're going to do that. Here we are back at the campfire. Here is our 8 souls. We got them right there. We can spend those for a number of things. One of them are going to be able to increase our stats, but first off, we're going to start to draw some treasures, and I believe the way that works is you draw 1 per. Remember, this is a kind of a learning session for me, so I am going through the rules again, even though I've watched a bunch of stuff on this. Let's see, when we've entered an encounter, we can, the campfire, I'm going to go back to the campfire. The things we can do at the bonfire, we can look for stuff. To purchase treasure, we move 1 soul from the cache, draw the top card of the treasure deck, and reveal it. Okay, well, we'll do that. So the first thing we're going to do is spend 1 of our souls, and we're going to reveal the top card of the treasure deck and see what we get. We get fire bombs. Those are pretty good. They require 15 intelligence. So this kind of guides us in the direction we're going, because we may want to get this. This does, for 4 stamina, it does a whole bunch of stuff, man. It's pretty devastating. Anyway, that's the first thing we drew. We're going to spend another 1 and do that again. Now, once they're in the pile and ready for us, we can continue to get them. The Deacon's Robes require 24 faith. Neither of our characters are going to get that anytime soon. In fact, they can both get there, but only at their tier 4 abilities, so that one's going to be useless. Now I got to do some thinking. Well, it costs 2 points to level up stat to tier 2, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to cash this in. I'm going to take 2 more souls, leave us 1 more here. I'm going to draw 2 more items. That leaves us 4, so we can bump a couple things up at least 1 tier and get 2 more items. Sunless armor, well, that is, it can be upgraded. That's pretty cool. It's really not better, but I would have to upgrade my knight, his faith up 1 tier to use this armor, but I'm looking at it, and really it's no better. I don't see that it's any better than the armor he has. So when I compare it, he's got 1 die there. That's the same. We'll put that in the pile here, and then we're going to draw 1 more. Another generic one, a shield. Now this is 21. He'd have to upgrade. Ooh, yeah, that's going to be a little rougher, but look, it's 2 blue dice. This is definitely better, this Dragon Crest shield. That's pretty good. That's going to guide our actions, I think, as we spend our next couple of souls, because we are going to get the fire bombs for sure. Now the fire bombs needed if I recall, they needed a 15 faith to do that, right? And a 15 intelligence. So let's take a look. I was hoping we'd be able to upgrade our assassin a bit too, and he could get him. But to be honest, none of this stuff is really going to be very easy for him to get. Even then, now this one is a little easier, but the assassin starts with a 10 strength and a 9 faith. He's going to take quite a bit to get up to even be able to take this better armor for himself. But what we can do is upgrade the knight in 2 areas to get the fire bombs. That is his intelligence, which will go up to 15, and his faith, which will go up to 15, which would allow him to acquire that. That would require the 4 remaining souls, but I think we're going to do that. So we're going to bump these 2 up to here, and he's going to take the fire bombs. They are really worth it. And for 4 stamina, he can do 3 dice. That, I believe, means, let me look up these symbols here, that is going to mean something. That damage to all enemies on the node. This one means, this shield here means it does push effects, so it pushes them away. And this means it deals magical damage. So that's very powerful. We're going to put that in his belt slot for right now and use that in our next encounter. So that basically spends all of our souls that we have to upgrade our knight so we can get that firebomb into play. That wasn't the ideal scenario that I would have hoped to have seen, but it's okay. And then we get to move on to our next encounter. Now our next encounter is going to, we could go across here, and go right up to here to a level 2 encounter, but we got this level 1 encounter here, and I think more souls and more stuff is a better way to go. So I think we're going to go face this north encounter. Hopefully we get some treasure chests, but I don't know. Let's see what we get here. We get, oh, there's a treasure chest there. We're going to get 2 sword hollows, so we'll put that right there. 2 sword hollows on which space? On the sword space, so right here. And 1 crossbow hollow on the X space right here. Well, that was good for us. So, and then we get a barrel, which I'll have to get. I don't have any barrels out, but I can grab one real quickly. We're going to have a barrel. Yeah, is that a barrel? No. Let me get a barrel. Hold on. We're going to have a barrel on this spot here, which blocks. We can move through it and burn a stamina to blast through that. And then we're going to get a treasure chest way up here in the corner. That's good because that's going to give us extra loot. I'm glad we came into this room. Now we got to position ourselves. Well, I think we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go with the knight first into the room. He's going to not only have aggro, but he's going to be first player. We're going to put him right there with that guy. Pretty good, right? Okay, and then for that, we're just going to move this card to the side. And then our assassin, I think, is going to... He'll go right here. These guys won't be able to catch him in 1 turn, and that's okay. Now, we are going to have the crossbow hollow. See, here's the trick, and here's why I put the assassin where I put him. This will work out pretty well. So now that we're going to start our round, okay, guys? So I'm going to finish this round, then we'll end this session here with the 2 rooms down, because I think we're going to blow through this one reasonably well. We're going to move. The crossbow hollow is going to go second, so these 2 guys are going to go first, and they're going to move towards. The hollow soldier is going to move toward the closest character. Well, as you can see, these are both equal distant, so I think I'm just going to have them both move right there. Okay, now, that's all they get to do. Now, these guys are going to go, this guy's going to go here where he is going to shoot at the knight, because the crossbow hollows shoot at the person with aggro. The knight gets to defend with 1 die, and he gets 2 points of damage, which I kind of expected because that was our history of doing this last turn. So we got hit twice there, and then we get to activate our knight. Now the knight is good against these melee fighters, so what I want to do though is separate. Well, you know what here's what we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna swap weapons out. We're gonna swap out his shield is not doing any good against the crossbow hollow, so we're gonna swap the knight's shield out with the fire bombs. And he's going to spend 4. Now the range on this... Oh wait, the range is only 1. Shoot. That means he can't get these guys. I was hoping he could get these guys, but he can't. So we're not going to do that. The range on the fire bombs is 1. I need him to move up. You know what I could have done is made... I'm going to make the assassin the first player. Yeah. Because he can dodge away and expose. Yeah, here's what we're going to do. Okay, assassin's going to be the first player. He's going to move to here after the crossbow hollow attacked. He's going to burn 3 of his stamina right away, and I'm going to put those in his slot. So he's burned 3 stamina, which makes him look like this. I know these are black, so they're hard to see, but there's 3 stamina there. And then he's going to use his S-Stock and burn 3. That's the 3 stamina he burned there, to use the S-Stock to get 3 dice. God, I rolled 2 dice last time. I shortchanged myself. I'm glad we killed those guys. 3 dice minus 1. Wow, that was a mistake, using only 3 dice. Bad. Okay. Anyway, let's do that. And of course we killed him. Boom, he's dead. That did cost us quite a bit, but he did slay the crossbow hollow right off the bat. And that's good, because now the knight won't get attacked by it anymore. Now, we're going to then wrap around. The assassin took aggro because he took the hit. Now, the 2 crossbow, the 2 sword hollows are going to move here, so we're going to activate them one at a time. One's going to go here. And this is how we're going to avoid getting hit twice. So we activate this guy. He moves up. Our assassin is going to dodge. And if he fails, he can still block the other one. But let's see. He didn't. So he's going to go to here and spend another stamina. I'm going to put, so he's up to 4 stamina right now, but he'll recover that when he goes again. And then the other one will move up to here and have nothing to attack. You see where I'm going? Yeah, I think this is right based on the rules as I'm reading them. Tell me if I'm wrong, but we're going to play it this way because it seems right to me. So the assassin was able to dodge out of the way. Now, we get to go to the knight's activation. Now, the knight is going to get the aggro, but that's okay, because he is now going to switch out the kite shield for the firebomb for this round. So what does that mean? Basically means that I slung his shield on his back. He took the firebombs out. He's going to huck them. They have a range of 1. We're going to burn 4 stamina on the knight to do this, so it takes a mighty heave to get this weapon thrown and lit and tossed, but it's going to do 3 damage to everything there and also knock him back, and it's magic damage. So here's the cool thing: they have 1 point of resistance. So unless we roll incredibly poorly, we're going to win this encounter immediately. Let's see if we do. Well, we got 4, so we did succeed. So we do 4 points. That's basically they only can take 2, so they're both blown. Now, if they didn't die, they would have been blown back, but they did die. They both, boom, quickly won that encounter thanks to the awesome firebombs that we acquired. And then we win the encounter and go back to the fire, where we recover all of our stats. So I'm going to take them off camera. Remember, there's a treasure chest there. We don't actually have to get to it. We just have to be there. So we get to open that treasure, which gives us 2 card draws. So what do we get? We get a blessed gem. This is an augment. We need a 25 faith. That's rough for both of our characters, but man, that is really worth it. This weapon gains a +1 die attack. I could put that on somebody's weapon. We also have poison mist, which requires an 11 dexterity and a 16 intelligence. So if we bump up the assassin, he can acquire this poison mist ability. That would really give us some awesome area effect, because it's 1 area effect too, and it does it basically for 1 stamina. I can put a poison marker on somebody that does extra damage to them the next round automatically, which would kill some of these guys. Pretty effective, and we can get there. So I have 4 souls, so I know for 1 of those souls, so we can get the poison mist, or 2 souls rather, we're going to bump the assassin's intelligence up there to 18. That's pretty good, and that is going to burn 2 of our souls to do that. Now it's going to take 4 to get it to the next tier, so that's much more difficult. But this allows him to acquire. Now we already got these items; they're in a cache. So as long as we can equip them, we can take them. He's going to equip the poison mist, and then we're going to go back. I think we're going to draw a couple more items and see what we get. Okay, so we're going to burn these 2 souls again. I could save him, but if we die, then we lose them. So let's use them and see if we get some decent stuff that we can apply. So we got the Fallen Knight's armor. Ooh, that's really good, except it requires a strength of 30 and an intelligence of 22, so we'd have to upgrade the knight 2 more times. And then we got this Spotted Whip. Wow, that's really good too. 30 dexterity. Wow, these are rough. These are pretty tough items. This one is... actually, this one doesn't belong in here. This was for another character. I'm going to take that out and draw another one. I guess it got mixed in by accident. So, Sorcerer's Staff. 15 strength. Neither of them have 15 strength and a 30 intelligence. Neither of them have that. So this item is going to be fairly useless to us. We're not going to be able to acquire it probably. But this whip has some potential. It does damage and poison. Pretty good for the assassin. We will see. We don't forget, I haven't used any of their special abilities because I don't really want to rest at the campfire. It resets the encounters that we have. So basically, guys, that is going to end our romp, our first big romp into the dungeon. The next thing we're going to do is go on to a tougher level 2 encounter. We have survived our first 2 encounters, which you kind of expect to survive, and because they're a little less difficult, especially when you get an item like that firebomb. That firebomb is really nice. And now we got the poison mist. So, you know, the Targ shield, you know, actually, guys, I've been shortchanging the assassin too. He's supposed to roll 2 dice. So forgive me my mistakes. I'm starting to catch on to this a little bit better. The target shield has a dodge die 2, as does the assassin's armor. So see that right there. I was looking at that saying 1. I didn't think that the shield would give him a dodge ability, but it does. So I have to remember that. He actually rolls 2 dice in dodging. That's pretty effective. Sorry it took me so long to get there. I'll make a note of that in the show, and et cetera, et cetera. So, guys, some things I want to point out to you. If you want to enjoy some more Dark Souls gameplay and some other gameplay, I'm going to highly recommend a couple of sites for you to go to. The first one, you know, I've put Masmora Dungeons of Arcadia a couple times on my channel now. One Stop Co-op Shop, he is doing a Masmora playthrough right now. I highly recommend you go check that out. That'll be a lot of fun. The other announcement I'm going to say is a couple things. With Crit Camp, I go spend time with them on Mondays and Wednesdays watching their live show and interacting with them on Twitch TV. They have a great board game channel. A couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, they did Dark Souls as well. And this week they had a special guest on and did Role Player. I highly recommend you go check them out, subscribe to them as well as One Stop Co-op Shop. And when you get over there, let them know that Doug Mystic I sent you. It's just so they know I care about them and pay attention to what they're doing. Also, those are the 2 I'd highly recommend right now. I'm waiting to see what some other folks are doing so I can recommend those off to you as well. But the other thing I want to show you, because this is super cool, is that if you follow tube tables at all, or you watch some of the other guys that do playthroughs, you also know one of the guys that's been doing it quite a while, who's exceptionally good at it, is Ricky Royal. And I just got word that I can show this off. There's no problem with me showing it. So Ricky asked me, and I couldn't be more honored to do so, if I would showcase his new game that's going out in Victory Point Games. And so I got this, guys. This is so cool. So you're from Richard Wilkins, which is Ricky Royal. It's called Renegade, and I got this press kit. It's not for sale or release or anything, but I am going, as soon as I finish Dark Souls, this is going up on the channel. So that'll be very, very soon. But I want to let you know that's out there. I think it's either going to Kickstarter or is on Kickstarter. There's no embargo on it. It's going to be released so I can talk about it and do videos on it and all that good stuff. But I wanted to show you I got that. I wanted to thank Ricky for sending it to me. I'm going to blast through this Dark Souls game, Ricky, so I can get this done and get to your game, even though I want to enjoy Dark Souls too. So anyway, I don't see Dark Souls lasting much more than 4 episodes. If we start losing badly, I'll probably just show you, we'll see. If I might do a couple, if I'm losing badly, I might do a couple of games off camera until we get back to the boss and just show you where we end up, unless you really want to see me fight the same fights over and over again. But we will see. So guys, that is the end of this episode, so please support those other channels. Go by and tell Ricky how cool it is that he's got his own game coming out, and get on his channel, see what he's doing. He's even got a couple videos on it. He's got an unboxing video for that press release copy right there, for example. And make sure to stop by the One Stop Co-op Shop and see his playthroughs. They are fun. And also, I love Role Player. I really want to do a solo version of Role Player on my channel, and Crit Camp did a really fun one, again with a surprise guest that they had on last Monday. A lot of you who follow these types of things will recognize. So anyway, guys, thanks so much. Take care, and I will talk to you next time.